Us on the 6th of September 2025 for a day of fun, personal milestones, and unforgettable memories. And now with the World Athletics label, you don't want to miss a chance to write your fitness story. Register today at absamarathonzambia.co.zm. Get your slot at 600 kwacha or 500 kwacha when you pay using any of your ABSA cards. Your story matters. ABSA.
For in-depth news coverage from across Zambia, local and national news, business, politics, and sports, this is the Sun FM News, brought to you by ABSA. Your story matters.
The news.
With the news, my name is Alan Mwale. The headlines. Cabinet has approved the export of over 500,000 metric tons of surplus maize and mealie meal following a bumper harvest during the 2024-2025 farming season. Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet, David Siakalenge, says Zambia is poised to become a regional exporter of fertilizer as the region intensifies efforts to strengthen its agricultural sector and enhance foreign exchange earnings. The Pretoria High Court has scheduled Friday, August 15th, 2025 to hear the Lungu family's application for leave to appeal, a ruling that authorized the repatriation of former President Edgar Lungu's body to Zambia for a state funeral. Newly promoted Zambia Premier League ZPL Eden University Women's Super League side Konkola Blades Queens have set a clear objective for their debut season. The news in detail shortly.
The news. 88.5 Sun FM.
And now the news in detail. Cabinet has approved the export of over 500,000 metric tons of surplus maize and mealie meal following a bumper harvest during the 2024-2025 farming season. The move is expected to generate liquidity in the maize value chain and incentivize farmers to expand their production towards the country's 10 million metric ton target. On Monday, 11th August 2025, President Hakainde Hichilema called for the 15th Cabinet meeting at State House to deliberate on policy and legislative matters to enhance national development. In communicating the outcome of the meeting in a statement today, Chief Government Spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa explained that Zambia produced 3.7 metric tons of maize and carried over 385,000 metric tons, bringing the total available stock to 4.04 million metric tons. With the national requirements estimated at 3.5 metric tons, the surplus will be exported to regional markets. Cabinet emphasized that national food security remains a priority and directed the Food Reserve Agency FRA to expedite maize purchases from farmers. It also resolved that Zambian truckers should benefit from the transportation of exported maize and mealie meal. Furthermore, Cabinet approved the declaration of a portion of land in Chilanga district owned by the Wonderful Group of companies as an industrial park. The park is projected to attract $2.45 billion in investment and create approximately 9,650 direct jobs, including up to 1,000 chemical engineering roles. The industrial park is expected to support phosphate mining in Sinda and Pentauke, reduce reliance on imported products such as urea, fertilizer, and glass, and accelerate Zambia's export-led industrialization. It will also foster technology transfer, skills development, and regional value chain integration. Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet, David Siakalenge, says Zambia is poised to become a regional exporter of fertilizer as the country intensifies efforts to strengthen its agriculture sector and enhance foreign exchange earnings. Speaking at the official launch of the initial raw material feedstock loading for ammonia and urea test production at United Capital Fertilizer, Mr. Siakalenge described the development as a significant milestone in Zambia's pursuit of regional food security. He disclosed that the newly established facility is expected to produce 180,000 tons of ammonia and 300,000 tons of urea fertilizer annually, volumes sufficient to meet domestic demand and provide surplus for export to regional markets. Mr. Siakalenge reaffirmed the government's commitment to fostering a conducive environment for business and investment, particularly in sectors that stimulate economic growth and generate employment.
And 300,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer per annum, enough to meet the country's domestic needs, and the excess to contribute towards regional exports of fertilizer. I've been in touch with the company, and already this year I've been informed that the company has exported a lot of fertilizer.
Also speaking at the event, United Capital Fertilizer Vice President Wang Jiayi revealed that the project has created 3,000 jobs during the construction phase and established 2,000 permanent positions upon completion. Mr. Jiayi emphasized the company's dedication to capacity building, noting that individuals are being trained to ensure the production of high-quality fertilizer that meets international standards.
One of the top-class engineering companies in the fertilizer field around the world. Up to now, Wuhan has completed more than 3,000 projects, including 300 EPC projects, both in China and overseas. Of course, the main project is ammonia and urea.
Meanwhile, Zambia Development Agency ZDA Director General Albert Halwampa commended the initiative, stating that it has positioned Zambia as a producer of world-class fertilizer and strengthens its role in the global agricultural value chain. The Pretoria High Court has scheduled Friday, August 15th, 2025 to hear the Lungu family's application for leave to appeal a ruling that authorized the repatriation of former President Edgar Lungu's body to Zambia for a state funeral. According to a court notice, all parties involved must submit relevant documents, including heads of argument, by tomorrow, Wednesday, August 18th, 2025 at 15 hours. The appeal follows a landmark judgment delivered on August 8, in which the court sided with the Zambian government, granting it the right to repatriate Mr. Lungu's remains for the burial at Embassy Park, the official resting place for heads of state. The court ruled that as a former head of state, Mr. Lungu's burial must reflect national protocol and dignity. The decision was made despite objections from his family, who cited his alleged wish to be buried privately in South Africa and to exclude President Hakainde Hichilema from the funeral proceedings. In the appeal, the family argues that the court erred by applying Zambian law instead of South African law, given that Mr. Lungu passed away in South Africa. They also claim that no binding agreement has existed between the family and the Zambian government regarding funeral arrangements. The family further contends that the ruling infringes on constitutional rights, including dignity, cultural freedom, and self-determination, and accuses the government of misrepresentation of facts during the proceedings. Until the appeal is resolved, the repatriation order remains suspended, and Mr. Lungu's body will remain in South Africa. Matero Member of Parliament Mauze Sampa has accused the United Party for National Development UPND of selectively applying electoral laws, asserting that violations should be addressed regardless of political affiliation. Mr. Sampa emphasized the need for fairness in governance, stating that certain actions, if committed by opposition parties, would have resulted in arrests. He described the situation as unfortunate and called for consistent enforcement of the law. The MP further alleged that the UPND has been working in collusion with the Electoral Commission of Zambia, which he claimed is staffed with sympathizers of the ruling party. According to Mr. Sampa, such arrangements undermine electoral integrity and erode public trust in the democratic process. highlighting past electoral disputes. He cited irregularities in the by-elections held in Kabushi, Kwacha, and Kabwata, noting that the Kabwata case was an exception due to the death of the incumbent. The lawmaker argued that the UPND should not claim credit for winning 7 out of 8 by-elections, as the circumstances surrounding those victories were questionable. He has since warned the ruling party not to expect a similar success in the 2026 general elections, suggesting that public sentiment may shift. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gift Sialubalo, has called on local authorities across the country to prioritize the training of revenue collectors as a means of enhancing efficiency and boosting revenue generation. Mr. Sialubalo emphasized that equipping them with the necessary knowledge and skills would improve performance and accountability. He further suggested that local authorities consider partnering with the Zambia Revenue Authority, particularly under customs, to strengthen the technical capacity of revenue collectors and ensure best practices are adopted.
For the council, the so-called revenue collectors, I believe we need to start investing in them in terms of knowledge, so that at least the art of doing work is perfected. We can partner, we can take some to even the college of customs under Zambia Revenue Authority, have 2 or 3 months, just with the target of looking at perfecting their skill.
The Community Action Against Corruption has accused the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, of using its planned disposal of expired medicines and medical kits valued at 129 million kwacha as a diversion from allegations of corruption, theft, and mismanagement of donated medical supplies. In a statement, Executive Director Brighton Tembo described the timing of the August 15th disposal as suspicious, alleging that it was intended to obscure large-scale pilferage of donated drugs. Mr. Tembo further questioned whether the expired medicines are linked to the 61 containers reportedly held at Lusaka's Makeni warehouse, suggesting that the disposal may be part of a broader cover-up. He attributed the expiries to changes in treatment regimes, damage during transit, and low demand for certain medicines. Mr. Tembo expressed disappointment over what he described as a government and law enforcement inaction, and called for an urgent investigation into ZAMSA's handling of both donated and procured medical supplies to ensure transparency and accountability.
The impending destruction of medicines and medical kits, which is purported to be expired drugs which were donated by the donors, is something that is raising more questions than answers when you look at the explanations advanced by ZAMSA. Because you know, this country in the recent past has faced a chronic shortage of drugs, and hospitals were just giving prescriptions. We even had rumors of ARVs being rationed to the people. So where were those drugs? So we feel ZAMSA should tell the nation if the expired drugs were part of those that were marooned in 61 containers in a Makeni warehouse, because this is very much surprising. We cannot have drugs expiring, then the country was facing a critical shortage of drugs.
Ndola District Chief Pharmacist Delilah Musonda has underscored the critical importance of fostering collaboration between healthcare professionals and government institutions to ensure the effective delivery of accurate and life-saving medication to the public. Speaking at the installation ceremony of Rotaract Club President Mwila Mwape, Ms. Musonda emphasized that strategic partnerships are vital to enhancing the quality of medical services within the community. She further highlighted that a unity and a coordinated efforts are essential to strengthening healthcare delivery, especially in the area of mental health.
It was a moment of inspiration and commitment during the installation of the president-elect of the Rotaract Club of Ndola, where District Chief Pharmacist Delilah Musonda delivered a message on the importance of unity, partnership and collaboration in preserving lives.
Unity isn't just powerful, it is necessary. And I believe in a club where there is no unity, things will not work. He gave such a very powerful speech. We heard the things that he's going to do, but without unity, all those things will not be done. Like I said, I've worked with Rotarians before, and I've seen how united they are.
The president-elect, Mwapemwela, outlined his vision for the upcoming, pledging to build on the foundation laid by his predecessors and to push for greater impact.
This year's theme, Unite for Good, reminds us that when we come together, across various backgrounds, across various professions, clubs, borders, we multiply our impact and create positive and meaningful change. Under this theme, Unite for Good, I have set the following priorities for my term as the newly president of the Rotaract Club of Ndola.
One of the key priorities discussed was the recruitment of youth into the club, aiming to expand its reach and effectiveness in community service.
The first priority that I have set as the president is to increase club membership. We will build a club that is vibrant, diverse, inclusive, and full of energy.
As inducting a new president for the club reminds me of when I was a Rotaractor being inducted as the president. Indeed, Rotaract is a training ground.
The event was closed with a renewed commitment to organize and participate in impact for community service, reinforcing the club's mission to improve lives across Ndola and beyond. Reporting for Sun FM Radio and TV, I'm Cletus Mutoke in Ndola.
We take a break and return with sports.
The Zambia Absa Marathon is back. Be part of Zambia's biggest and most anticipated marathon. Join us on the 6th of September 2025 for a day of fun, personal milestones, and unforgettable memories. And now with the World Athletics label, you don't want to miss a chance to write your fitness story. Register today at absamarathonzambia.co.za. Get your slot at 600 kwacha or 500 kwacha when you pay using any of your Absa cards. Your story matters. Absa.
Newly promoted Zambian Premier League ZPL Eden University Women's Super League side, the Konkola Blades Queens, have set a clear objective for their debut season to avoid relegation and establish themselves as competitive contenders. Speaking in an interview, head coach Enala Simbeye cautioned the teams that have traditionally dominated the women's game not to underestimate the newcomers. She declared her youthful squad are ready to stand toe-to-toe with the league's top sides and compete for the title. The team earned their promotion after defeating National Assembly Ladies 5-3 on penalties following a hard-fought goalless draw in the 2025 Carling Black Label Sovu Charity Shield second-tier final. The victory has fueled their ambition to make a mark in the Women's Super League. Coach Simbeye expressed confidence that the win in the season opener would serve as a strong motivational boost for the Chilelabombe Bay's side as they prepare for their debut campaign in the top flight. With a CAF A license and a coaching resume that includes stints with the Copper Queens at various age levels, as well as in Denny Roses and ZISD in the Women's Super League, Simbeye is banking on her experience to inspire Konkola Blades Queens to reach greater heights.
I have a younger team of under 20s, and they are going to play with experienced clubs that have been in the league since the inception of women's football. We are not going to underrate anyone. but we're going to create our plan because football modern trends of football are changing every day. So I won't live in the past. I'm living according to the trend of today, and that trend can help us stick to the stay in the competition. We have not come to say that we are winning the league, but we have come to say that we are competitors, and we're going to do it so well.
To end the news, we recap on the headlines. Cabinet has approved the export of over 500,000 metric tons of surplus maize and mealie meal following a bumper harvest during the 2024-2025 farming season. Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet, David Siakalenge, says Zambia is poised to become a regional exporter of fertilizer as the country intensifies efforts to strengthen its agricultural sector and enhance foreign exchange earnings. The Pretoria High Court has scheduled Friday, August 15, 2025, to hear the Lungu family's application for leave to appeal a ruling that authorized the repatriation of former President Edgar Lungu's body to Zambia for a state funeral. In sports, a newly promoted Zambian Premier League ZPL Eden University Women's Super League side, Konkola Blades Queens, have set a clear objective for their debut season. And that's where we end. My name is Alan Mwale. Do have a great one and stay tuned to Sun FM TV.
Sun FM.
The Zambia Absa Marathon is back. Be part of Zambia's biggest and most anticipated marathon. Join us on the 6th of September 2025 for a day of fun, personal milestones, and unforgettable memories. And now with the World Athletics label, you don't want to miss a chance to write your fitness story. Register today at absamarathonzambia.co.za. Get your slot at 600 kwacha or 500 kwacha when you pay using any of your Absa cards. Your story matters. Absa.
A comprehensive coverage of local and national